skies until a cold front moves through on Thursday, when we could then have some showers, or first and maybe, well, only rain chance this week, and then cooler temperatures on Friday. So we've got a little more summer ahead. I'm Ken Walker for CapitalWeatherGang.com. We'll also touch on the tropics, which are very active around the globe, so stay tuned for that. Our latest forecast locally at CWG.news/latest. Anytime you need us, we're on CapitalWeatherGang.com. So notice we have 1 to 2 chances. Maybe we hit 90 degrees and add to our heat tracker. 1-2 days could hit 90 or higher this week, but we remains to be seen. We're tracking roughly average, maybe just a little bit hair behind average for year-to-date 90-degree temperatures, but we could add 1 or 2 of those 90-degree or hotter days to our counter. And keep in mind, we're losing our summer heat. Average temperature for high temperature at DCA Airport is down to 79 degrees this time of year, so keep that in mind as your benchmark when we're talking about well above average temperatures. The 2 main days where we could see 90 or higher are tomorrow, Monday, and Wednesday. So keep that in mind. Ruth Lisa, hello. Thanks for tuning in. Maria, hello. And David, good evening to you as well. Humidity this week will be kind of up and down a bit until the cold front, a stronger cold front, comes through late Wednesday into early Thursday. Dew points kind of oscillate between the 50s and 60s, so nothing too terrible, nothing too muggy. This week should hopefully cap our dew points in the mid 60s. So keep that in mind. You'll have intermittents for a few hours here and there, some moderately uncomfortable conditions, but not sultry, not oppressive. So that is the good news. All right, rainfall amounts. Don't look too carefully, gardeners and farmers. It is scant rain chances. Hopefully a stray shower or thunder shower tomorrow. Maybe again later Wednesday into Thursday. Has the best chance of the week is Thursday for rain chances. And then we have to watch this weekend. We could see some rain chances this weekend. Remains to be seen, but really overall, by the time you talk to me next Sunday for our weekly Sunday sunset chat, we may only have 1/10 of an inch in some spots, perhaps 1/3 of an inch in the luckier, rainier spots. So here it is, earlier and earlier sunset. Lost over 10 minutes, and we're going to lose 12 minutes when you talk to me next Sunday. It will be 7 p.m. next Sunday. Can you believe it? Our evening sunsets are coming to a close. I'm on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Make sure you follow us on all 3 of our social media channels there, to which I'm simulcasting. I'm Cameron Walker for CapitalWeatherGang.com. Laura from YouTube. Pollen update. It was washed out, the latest count, but we do have some ragweed and we do have some mold and mildew in the region. Kristen, happy Sunday. The latest with Fiona we'll get to in just a moment. Actually, let's do that right now because I do have that queued up. It is luckily going to curve out to sea for the immediate area. No concerns along the East Coast as it stands now. That colorful graphic there at the top indicates tropical storm force wind speed probabilities. We don't even see a 5% chance of tropical storm conditions, winds conditions, even scraping the East Coast of the United States. Bermuda should watch out. But of course, the big story is the state of emergency in Puerto Rico. For the latest, go to CWG.news/PR. We are from the National Hurricane Center watching projections for over 30 inches of rain potentially in Puerto Rico. The entire island, all power customers are without power. I am getting chills watching some of the video, which we are posting on our Twitter feed at Capital Weather. Make sure you follow us at CWG.news/Twitter so you can get the latest on that. But the good news for the Mid-Atlantic, for the entire East Coast, Fiona should very likely curve out to sea, but we'll watch it with one eye open just to make sure that expectation continues. Other than Fiona, we have a slight chance, one other disturbance in the central Atlantic developing in the next 5 days that could turn into Gaston, but remains to be seen, not a high probability there. And broadly speaking, in the greater tropics, so the Western Pacific, we do have a typhoon, the strongest in decades, affecting Japan. Go to CWG.news/Japan to find the latest there. We have a terrible situation in Puerto Rico at CWG.news/PR and Japan, CWG.news/Japan. Two areas getting rocked by notably strong tropical systems this evening. We are keeping you posted at CapitalWeatherGang.com and at the Washington Post on the latest with these 2 systems that are very strong and very devastating for both of these areas. All right, so we go back to our forecast at a glance while I take your questions and comments. I'm Cameron Walker for CapitalWeatherGang.com, our latest forecast at CWG.news/latest. Off and on mugginess to start the week. One or two chances of maybe hitting 90 degrees tomorrow and again Wednesday. Those are the two highest chance days for hitting 90 or higher. Potentially adding to our heat counter, so far standing at 38 days during which we've hit 90 degrees or higher. We could see 39 or 40 by the end of this week, and dew points oscillating between the 50s and 60s. Nothing too terrible. Let's call it off and on humidity, but it should stay moderate for a few hours that it does spike here and there this week. All right, we've got Jan. You're ready for fall? Yes, me too. And Rachel, looking forward to the cool weather. You'll love Friday, Rachel. Look at that. I mean, we could drop precipitously. Maybe an outside chance we struggle to hit 70 degrees on Friday. Remains to be seen. Lower confidence, but it does look much cooler. Let's broadly call it upper 60s in the higher elevations, west and north of town, to maybe low 70s around the Beltway as it stands now. All right. Hello, Aaron and Mike. Amazing race there in the valley. And good evening, Aaron. And let's see. David, any heat waves after this? Can't rule them out until maybe the end of September. We could even see a quick spike in October if we continue to see some dry conditions. And Mary, ready to move back to Virginia before it starts snowing here in Alaska. Keep us posted, Mary. We do have coverage of the western coast of Alaska getting hit very hard by that very strong extratropical storm recently. So, Mary, please keep us posted. I hope all is well there in Alaska. Let's see, Gay, Lee, we had hello, and last week of heat before we get fall weather. I want to properly manage expectations for all Washingtonians, all Mid-Atlantic residents. Fall weather may not feel like continuous fall weather until October, so please keep that in mind and be patient this time of year. All right, we've got Paul next weekend. Going to be nice. I know it's far out, Paul. Let me take a stab at it for you. So here it is, rainfall amounts going through next weekend. By the time you talk to me next Sunday for our weekly Sunday Sunset Chat, not too much rain to speak of, which, let's say for outdoor plans, that's not too bad of a thing. Thursday has a high chance of showers. We'll call it a moderate chance of showers. And then this weekend, we can't rule out some showers or a thunderstorm as well. But all that being said, with those kind of 2 or 3 days being high probability, most probability in a relative sense for some rain chances, you can see here the rain amounts are not that high, maybe 1/10 of an inch to 1/3 of an inch of rain. So even if we do see some precipitation this weekend, I would say it could be dodgeable rain, could be salvageable, and temperatures look nice behind our cold front Thursday. Friday looks like it could be around 70 degrees, staying in the 70s potentially on Saturday. So keep that in mind. And then looking further out into next work week, just kind of on the edge, the end of the weekend, there's no clear signal. We could be maybe near average. Temperatures don't really want to give us a clear slight probability for above average or slight probability for below. We kind of have equal chances of being above or below average around Washington, D.C. And what is average? Yes, we lose another 3 degrees from our average high temperatures by next Sunday. 76 degrees for our average high temperature. So we are getting down into the 70s for our averages. And yes, I can almost taste it or feel it. We're getting closer and closer to fall weather, which some of you want. Now, here's some of the bad news. There is next weekend into early next week a slight signal in the atmosphere for heavier rainfall. So we need to keep an eye on this as we get closer. Lots of question marks and low probability, but just keep in the back of your mind as we get toward the weekend and you're making, I think Paul was making some weekend plans. Just keep that in mind in the back of your head. We could see some rain chances increase as we get closer. So stay tuned to us at capitalweathergang.com, and our latest forecast is here at CWG.news/latest. The day with the highest chance for rain, which is only about 30%, is Thursday this work week. And we do have 1, maybe 2 chances of seeing 90 degrees or hotter to add to our 2022 heat tracker there, maybe 39 or 40. Aaron is excited for the cooler weather. I think Rachel wants to wear a sweater. And Ruth Elisa, I don't see too much cold sticking around for long. If you're thinking 70s for high temperatures is cold, I kind of disagree with you, but it will be a change from 90 to 70, 20-degree temperature change potentially. Gay October's looking good. It's coming. Excellent. You're looking forward to the fall weather then. And severe weather for the coastal erosion there, Mary, in Alaska. Thanks for that report there on the ground. We did cover that at capitalweatherking.com. Make sure you check that out on the blog. Peter, hello. Thanks for tuning in. And Ruth, Elisa, sorry, no worries. And David, Washingtonians know we go from summer to winter within a week or two of nice fall weather. David, we do have a small fall in the DC area, but October, November, and even December have some days that are pretty darn nice, even as the days get shorter. Snow predictions are coming gay potentially as early as Halloween. Give us until then. Twitter account is at CWG.news/Twitter, Alex, and follow us there at Capital Weather. And you're ready for fall. Glad to hear that. All right, Paul, you're most welcome. Appreciate the detail and appreciate you tuning in. And Jim, the Hurricane Fiona getting close to us. That is not the case. So let's check that out. Here's the latest track and probability for Fiona staying away from the East Coast. This colorful map here has the probabilities for tropical storm force winds. And as you can see, even the dark green indicating 5% chance of tropical storm winds staying well away from the East Coast and out in the open ocean. Bermuda needs to watch out, and Puerto Rico, of course, is getting the brunt of Fiona, as we have been covering this weekend and all day today on Twitter at Capital Weather and the blog capitalweathergame.com. Direct link, go to CWG.news/PR, and you can see the National Hurricane Center is expecting potentially up to 30 inches of rain, catastrophic flooding. Chilling clips of videos and photos are there in the article, and a state of emergency has been declared by the president, and there is no power on the entire island of Puerto Rico, which I can't believe I'm saying that, but all customers have lost power. It is a terrible, catastrophic situation in Puerto Rico as well. Let's not fall asleep yet in the tropical Atlantic. It is still active, potentially for the next couple of weeks. We have some hint of activity remaining in the Atlantic. No direct or soon impacts to the East Coast at this time. But in the yellow there in the central Atlantic, you can see there is a slight chance that another disturbance develops in the next 5 days. That would be our G-storm Gaston. And not to leave it out, in the greater global scheme of things, we have Japan also under a catastrophic storm. A typhoon is approaching and impacting much of the island, worse than decades. For the latest link on that, go to CWG.news/Japan. We've been covering that this weekend as well. The timing is bad, with Puerto Rico and Japan both reeling from very destructive storms hitting at roughly the same time this weekend. All right, let me review our forecasts at a glance more locally. And yes, we could add a couple days to our heat counter of 90 degrees or hotter this week. Monday and Wednesday have the potential to be the hottest days, so we'll watch that for you. CWG.news/latest is our latest forecast by Greg Porter, our PM update. Japan Gay and Elizabeth, indeed for Puerto Rico, it is all tragic. Thanks for all the good feeling emojis and support for Puerto Rico and Japan. Too early for snow, Ruth Elisa. We definitely, for our forecast and first flakes, we need to get closer to Halloween. And Lewis, the 30% chance of rain on Thursday is about the best I can give you for these scant chances of rain over the next week. We could see something this weekend develop, remains to be seen. We could see a stray shower or storm tomorrow, especially west and north of town. And maybe even a quick, strong thunder shower west of the Blue Ridge on Wednesday, as well as a cold front comes through later Wednesday. So we'll keep you posted on all of our social media channels. Make sure you're following us at YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. We are simulcasting and talking live with each other on all three of those channels right now. And yes, sunset tonight, 7:12. And next Sunday for our weekly Sunday sunset chat, 7 p.m. sharp. I will see you here then for our last evening time feeling sunset as we lose our summer lights quicker and quicker. So keep that in mind. Days are getting shorter and evening light is getting harder to come by. Let's see. So we've got Jim, thanks for tuning in. And Paul, thank you. And Lewis, I hope I answered your question about rain. Let's go into more detail on rain chances. Not much to speak of over the next 7 days. By the time you talk to me next Sunday, it looks like maybe 1/10 of an inch to perhaps 1/3 of an inch in the luckier spots throughout the region. The main, relatively speaking, main chances for rain are Thursday and maybe some more showers this weekend. Can't rule out a stray shower Wednesday afternoon, evening, even tomorrow afternoon, evening, but not much to speak of. So gardeners and farmers, please continue your watering. And precipitation, let's see, let's give you the good news. We could see some heavy precipitation, a slight signal for it next weekend into early next work week. So that could be good for farmers and gardeners, and to keep in check our drought situation, which is increasing on the Virginia portion of the Delmarva more locally. Other tough spots on the East Coast are Rhode Island and Massachusetts. That is the hardest hit area for drought on the East Coast. Overall, though, east of the Mississippi, we're doing pretty okay. More closely to the Beltway, we're fine. And maybe some abnormally dry spots in southeastern Virginia, where in the last 2 weeks, in this map pictured, percentage-wise, for what we normally would expect over the last 2 weeks, 10% maybe in the reds of what would normally fall on the Virginia portion of the Delmarva. Closer down there toward Virginia Beach, it's been very dry for the last 2 weeks, so you're not imagining it. And then over near the Ohio and West Virginia borders, also been very dry. But as you can see, purples, darker blues, and lighter blues, and even the darker greens, those are the wet spots over the last 2 weeks. So you are doing much better if you're in those areas of our region. So that it's very hit or miss, because again, we've been dependent in the warm weather portion of our season of the year for these hit or miss showers and storms. We don't have a bigger storm system, low pressure nor'easter type storm systems like we do in the winter that broadly bring us some large shields of consistent rainfall and steadier rainfall. So this is definitely a symptom of the hit or miss showers and storms we've had over the last 2 weeks. And some areas have seen little to no rain, which is 0 to 10% of what you would normally see in the oranges and darker reds, and some 5-6 times what you normally see in the darker blues and pinks, maybe even some patchy flooding in some of those spots. So it's been very feast or famine, even just one county away. So if you've called your neighbor a few miles away and they have much different water situation than you, it's not your imagination. It plays out in the data as well. Kenny, I love that you're tuning in. You always want that water. I know. We've got to get Kenny his water and his rain. David wants some rain as well. And Rick, I don't want to pronounce the end of heat waves just yet this year. We've often had into October some warm days. And here's our heat counter. We could see 1 or 2 of these days added. We could see 39th or 40th day of 90 degrees or hotter this week. Monday has a chance. Wednesday has a chance. And yes, we do get a little cooler into October. But we've seen upper 90s in late September in recent years. So I don't have high confidence just yet that we've put completely away for the season our heat counter, which stands at 38 days of being 90 or hotter in the DC area. All right, so 3 more minutes. I'm here on the air, two minutes or so. Let me know if you have any final questions. I'm Cameron Walker for CapitalWeatherGang.com, our latest forecast at CWG.news/latest. Generally a warm week in the 80s. Partly to mostly sunny all week. The highest chance for rain, which is still not high, is Thursday, 30% chance for showers. You can see that cold front by Friday brings in that cooler, drier air, maybe low 70s on Friday, and maybe into the weekend as well. Have a good week, Aaron, as well. And Kristen, thanks for tuning in. That's most kind of you. You're most welcome, Rick. Oh, first inch of snow, Paul. I always am going to have to go with December around the Beltway. That's my personal belief. Oh, Gay, he wants some thunderstorms. Perhaps Monday could see spotty thunderstorms this week. Maybe Wednesday afternoon, evening, especially west and north of town, actually. So keep that in mind. David, you're most kind. Thanks for tuning in. And Steve, can't rule out a couple strong storms northwest of town, maybe even west of the Blue Ridge, if that's where you live on Wednesday afternoon and evening, but nothing really expected around the DC area. And even the Tidewater, lower elevations of Maryland and along the I-95 corridor. So far, so good. Birthday snow, says Gay. That's hilarious. And Ruth Lisa, you're most welcome. And let's see. I think I've caught up on everything. Here's your latest forecast at CWG.news/latest. Let me review everything else one more time. Rain chances are scant this week. If you're lucky, you'll see 1/10 to 1/3 of an inch by the time you talk to me next Sunday. We're getting earlier and earlier on these sunsets. Next time you see me on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook for a weekly Sunday sunset chat next week, we'll lose 12 minutes. It'll be 7 p.m. sharp next Sunday, so keep that in mind. Looks okay for temperatures this weekend, but we do have maybe some rain chances around. Not high rain chances as it stands, but just stay tuned to CapitalWeatherGang.com as we get closer. Temperatures are kind of hard to place for next work week, longer range. we kind of could be near average, but so far the atmosphere is not giving up the ghost and signaling if it wants to lean above average or below average. But keep in mind, our averages go down 3 degrees, our average high temperature 3 degrees from today by the time you talk to me next week. So from 79 for an average high today to 76 next week. And yes, a slight chance we see some heavy rainfall maybe as early as next weekend into next work week. We'll keep you posted on that. It's a weak signal, but I wanted to let you know we could indeed use it for much of the region, though the drought is not widespread. It's mainly over the Delmarva, especially the Virginia portion of the Delmarva. We could use the rain in the region. As you can see, the drier spots in the last 2 weeks as a percent of normal, and the reds and oranges, little to no rain in the kind of southeastern parts of the DC area. And let's see, tropics really quick. I want you to please follow the catastrophic news out of Puerto Rico at CWG.news/PR. Up to 30 inches of rain are possible. But for the East Coast, the good news is tropical storm force winds, pictured here, do stay off the coast. So that is what we do expect, that the storm recurves. Bermuda needs to watch out, but the East Coast should be in the clear for this storm. Elsewhere in the tropics, just a slight chance we see Gaston form in that Central Atlantic weak disturbance as it stands now in the next 5 days. But if it does decide to develop, it would be our G-storm, Gaston. And globally speaking, yet another tropical situation with a typhoon of the strongest of the last few decades hitting Japan. Just like PR for Puerto Rico, go to CWG.news/Japan to follow the latest there. We are keeping you posted on these twin tropical troubles in around the globe. CapitalWeatherGang.com. Have a good week and please stay safe. And I'll see you next Sunday. I'm Camden Walker signing off for now. Bye, Mary.